Oh yeah, just like how it was back in 2006. Wait. I wasn't even born yet. But that's not gonna stop me from having some fun. Yeah!
Wii Sports was the Wii game. If you had a Wii, you had Wii Sports. Wii Sports was created because Nintendo wanted the Wii to reach a new audience after failing to compete with Sony and Microsoft with the GameCube. To do this, they needed a game that both gamers and non-gamers could play together, and a game that would be played daily by millions. They intended the game to be a simple introductory game that offered something for everybody. The sports theme was decided to achieve widespread appeal, and instead of making their own annual NBA 2K, they wanted to make their game simple and easy to pick up and play. Why run after the ball when the game can just do that for you? Early in development, Mario characters were going to be used, but they were later replaced by the Miis. The Miis were simple characters you could create in the Wii Shop channel, and they lasted all the way till the Nintendo Switch. Well, kinda. It's just kinda boring there. And the best thing about the Mii channel is that I can finally add Luigi back in the game and play golf with him. Wii Sports was bundled with the Wii in all regions except for Japan, with the thought process being that players were more likely to play Wii Sports if it was bundled with the console, and players who liked the game would increase the popularity by word of mouth. But initially, Shigeru Miyamoto and Satoru Iwata were hesitant to make Wii Sports the pack-in. That was until Reggie convinced them that Wii Sports would be the key to the Wii success, and oh boy, was he right. But the question is, how good is Wii Sports? Wii Sports is a sports minigame collection. You can choose between 5 sports: tennis, baseball, golf, bowling, and boxing. There are also 3 training minigames for each sport, which if you do good enough, you can get a bronze, silver, and gold medal. These training minigames are also playable in a fitness test that calculates your fitness age, which ranges between 20 to 80 years old.
Oh! I can't tell if that's a good or bad thing.
There isn't too much to do single player wise, but in an attempt to rectify this, the game is a skill point counter. After you play a game, your skill points go up. When you have a certain amount of skill points, you get put against different opponents, except for bowling and golf, which you don't play against computers. Now this is relaxing. Tennis is only played in doubles. You can play with you and an AI, 2Us versus 2 AIs, 2Us versus you and an AI, or if every player beat you, which I think is the best option. At first glance, the controls are perfect. You just swing the remote to hit the ball. But you can also waggle the remote to cheese the game, making swinging the remote in single player kinda pointless. One thing I forgot to mention is that you can watch matches and move the camera so you can be in the crowd. I can see why I forgot to mention that. Next up we have baseball, where you play in teams of 8. My team doesn't look the best, especially my Mii. Let me fix that. That's better. So in baseball, you get to be the batter and the pitcher, and you control all of your teammates when you are batting, which means yes, I can play as both Toon Link and Wario in the same match. The batting controls are great, simply for the fact that you can't just waggle the remote to hit it. But the pitcher controls? Yeah. After you hit the ball, you go from having arms and legs to hopping. Story of my life. Once you've played 3 innings, the match ends. Next up, we have bowling, and have a look at me get a strike. Let's be honest, after you did that on accident for the first time, you ended up doing that on purpose every other time you played. You have 10 attempts to knock down as many of the 10 pins you are presented with on each go. And if you haven't noticed already, I don't have any opponents, and honestly, this one's not as fun without friends.
I don't know why they couldn't at least let us have the option to play against a computer, because if I'm not playing this against other people, I end up speeding through it just to get it over with because of how bored I get. Also, the fact that there are people behind me confuses me even more, and I don't like being confused.
It's the same story with golf, but unlike bowling, golf is supposed to be relaxing, and I feel like they pulled that off here. Another thing I really like is that if you want to take a shot, you hold A and swing, which means I am able to practice my shots without hitting the ball. The only problem I have with golf is that out of all the sports, this is the least fun game to play with other people, which isn't actually a bad thing. It is still a lot of fun, but it's much better as a single player experience, which this game is sorely lacking.
And the final sport we have today is boxing, and let's be honest, this is the one we all spent the most time on.
Everybody at some point has gotten angry, gotten so peeved you have had thoughts of killing somebody. Wii Sports Boxing is, in my opinion, the second best way to legally take your frustrations out, only slightly behind an actual punching bag. The whole motion controls renaissance of the late 2000s to early 2010s, I know is definitely not considered a way to get your frustrations out. When all the companies that were making their own stuff, from the Kinect to PlayStation Move, all they were thinking about was money. But I find Wii Sports Boxing's simplicity makes it a really good stress reliever, while Donkey Kong Boxing for the Wii I find does the exact opposite, because of how god awful the controls are. Wii Sports Boxing is the only sport that requires the nunchuck, but I don't know why we couldn't just use 2 Wii remotes so that wires aren't getting in your way and restricting your punches. I'm so good at this that I never knew that there was a tiebreaker after the 3 rounds. Hey, you learn something new every day. And I think the actual reason I've never seen this is because I've never seen Mike, who according to the Wii Sports Wiki is the first of the sometimes pro class, whatever that's supposed to mean. I never realized how many people you face until you get to Matt, one of the first people you face in tennis, also known as the final boss in boxing. I've never gotten up to him because the only times I play Wii Sports, it's always with friends, and that perfectly summarizes how I feel about Wii Sports. It's the perfect multiplayer game, but when it comes to single player, it is lacking in so many areas that if I'm playing the Wii on my own, I most likely won't be playing Wii Sports.
Wii Sports is still one of the greatest video games of all time, but the only problem is that it's just not long lasting. But hey, it's better than 99% of the crap that's on the Wii anyway. But I'm done with fake sports, it's time to play some real sports.
I couldn't find a skipping rope.